The air in Nagarkot village was a crisp, clear balm, a stark contrast to the thick, polluted breath of the city Aryan had left behind. At 22, he was home, or rather, his ancestral home, a collection of stone and mud brick houses perched precariously on a remote hillside where his grandparents and an assortment of uncles and aunts still lived. With him was Maya, his girlfriend, her city-bred skepticism slowly melting under the charm of the starry Himalayan nights and the uncomplicated smiles of the villagers. One evening, after a hearty meal of dalbat and stories of old, Aryan and Maya decided to take a stroll. The full moon, a luminous pearl in the velvet sky, cast an ethereal glow over the terraced fields and silent forests. The air hummed with crickets, and the distant bark of a dog was the only disturbance to the perfect peace. "This is magical," Maya whispered, her hand finding Aryan's. "I've never seen so many stars." They walked along a narrow, winding path that hugged the hillside, just a stone's throw from their home. The path led to a common water tap, a vital hub where villagers gathered daily, sharing gossip as they filled their brass pitchers. Tonight it was deserted, its stone trough glinting under the moonlight. A gnarled old pipal tree, its roots clutching the earth like ancient talons, stood sentinel beside it. As they neared the tree, a sudden chill permeated the air, despite the warm night. A rustling sound like dry leaves skittering came from behind the old pipal. Aryan paused, his grip on Maya's hand tightening. "Did you hear that?" Before Maya could answer, a figure emerged from the shadows beneath the tree. It was a woman, draped in a white sari, her back to them. From this distance, she looked like any village woman, perhaps waiting for someone, or lost in thought. But there was something unnervingly still about her, a silence that felt heavier than the night itself. "Hello?" Aryan called out, a knot of unease tightening in his stomach. The figure didn't respond, didn't turn. Instead, it began to move, a slow, deliberate glide that wasn't quite walking, towards them. A primal fear seized Aryan. This wasn't right. The way she moved, the absolute silence despite her apparent closeness, the sudden drop in temperature. It all screamed wrong. "Let's go, Maya," he urged, pulling her back with a strength born of pure terror. They turned and practically ran, not daring to look back until the familiar glow of their grandparents' oil lamp offered a fragile sense of safety. They made it back, breathless and shaken, dismissing the encounter as a trick of the light or an overactive imagination fueled by the village's mystique. But the night wasn't done with Aryan. Sleep came fitfully, plagued by vivid, terrifying nightmares. At first, it was just a sense of dread, dark shadows and whispers just out of reach. But as the days bled into each other, the dreams grew sharper, more detailed. He saw her, the woman in white, not from a distance now, but up close. She was impossibly beautiful, her dark hair flowing, her eyes pools of sorrow. She would extend a hand, beckoning him, her lips forming silent words of distress. But as he drew closer, her features would warp, her face twisting into a skeletal rictus, her nails elongating into grotesque claws, her teeth sharp like a predator's. She would shriek, a sound that tore through his sleep and left him gasping for air. During the day, a profound sickness settled over him. His body ached, a deep, pervasive chill making him shiver even under the harshest sun. He had no fever, no discernible illness, but his strength drained away with each passing hour. He could barely walk, his limbs heavy and unresponsive. Maya watched, helpless and terrified, as the vibrant young man she knew withered before her eyes. They couldn't return to the city. The journey was too arduous for Aryan in his current state. The grandparents, observing Aryan's rapid decline and Maya's distraught face, exchanged grim glances. "It's the Kichkandi," his grandmother finally murmured, her voice laced with ancient fear. They explained the legend, a sorrowful tale passed down through generations. The woman in white was once a living, breathing soul, kind and exceptionally beautiful during the time of kings. She had endeared herself to the villagers, her gentle spirit a beacon of light. But her beauty had also caught the eye of a high-ranking soldier, a man accustomed to having his desires met. She rejected his advances, and in a fit of enraged entitlement, he had raped and murdered her on a full moon night, right by the water tap, beneath the old pipal tree. Her spirit, denied peace, became a Kichkandi, a vengeful female ghost forever bound to that spot. She sought retribution, specifically from men. The soldier, they said, had been her first victim. He suffered agonizing nightmares. His health steadily declined, his career crumbled, and his family abandoned him. He finally ended his torment by hanging himself from the very pipal tree where he had committed his heinous act. The Kichkandis, the grandmother warned, were devious. They appeared harmless, even beautiful from a distance, often in white saris, looking just like any distraught girl asking for help. They never harmed women. But once a man got close, their true, sinister nature revealed itself, capable of inflicting unimaginable harm, even unto death. With no other recourse, the villagers decided, Aryan had to see the shaman, the dummy. The shaman's dwelling was a small, smoke-filled hut, thick with the scent of herbs and burning incense. His eyes, ancient and knowing, seemed to pierce through Aryan's very soul. After a series of chants and the rhythmic beating of a drum, the shaman nodded gravely. "The shadow has touched him deeply," he declared, his voice raspy. "He needs to be cleansed every morning for the next week." The ritual was brutal, an ordeal that tested Aryan's fading will. Each dawn, before the sun had even kissed the mountain peaks, Aryan was led to a semi-frozen pond near the shaman's home. The water was a shock of icy needles, clawing at his skin, stealing his breath. Semi-naked, he endured the frigid bath, his body convulsing with shivers, while the shaman stood on the bank, chanting ancient prayers, his voice a steady rhythmic mantra against the biting cold. Smoke from burning herbs was wafted over him, and sometimes the shaman would strike him with a bundle of stinging nettles, meant to drive the evil spirit from his flesh. Days bled into a torturous week. Aryan battled not just the cold and the pain, but the recurring visions of the Kichkandi, even in his waking moments, her malevolent gaze following him. Maya, always nearby, offered what little comfort she could, her tears freezing on her cheeks. Slowly, agonizingly slowly, the pain began to pay off. The nightmares, though still present, became less frequent, their terror diminished. The Kichkandi's presence in his dreams grew faint, then almost non-existent. His body, once a reservoir of cold and ache, began to warm, to regain strength. The color returned to his cheeks, and the haunted look in his eyes began to recede. On the final day, after the last ritual, the shaman's gaze was solemn. "You are healed for now, son," he said, placing a protective amulet around Aryan's neck. "But nothing can fully cleanse a touch from a spirit like that. You will have flashes, nightmares, perhaps even visions in the future. They will be severe, and they will affect you deeply." Aryan and Maya felt a profound wave of relief, mixed with a chilling understanding of the shaman's warning. It was a reprieve, not an absolute cure. They were grateful, however, for the present salvation. The moment Aryan was strong enough, they packed their bags, bid farewell to the concerned villagers, and embarked on the long journey back to the city, leaving the clear skies and haunted hills behind, but carrying a piece of the Kichkandi's chilling touch forever within him. The city lights offered no solace, only a stark reminder of the fragile veil between their world and the terrifying unknown.